Hello, everybody. I hope that you guys are watching. This is like really weird. I'm like, this thing today. I don't know what's going on with my system here, but it's not. I wasn't. Oh shoot! I wasn't able to I wasn't able to get on right away, so it's kind of a weird thing. But if you guys are watching me, please share my live so that everybody can see that I'm on, because it took forever to get on. And come on and say hi. Let me know that you're out there, that you're watching. um and let me know where you're watching from. Today I'm coming live from my dining room, because I was working on stuff in my dining room. Sometimes you just don't want to work in your office. And I'm snacking, which I normally don't, but it's going to be a little bit of different. So, hello, Kathleen. So today's live is on shadow people. And I don't know if, yes, Long Island Martha, 100%. So, the truth about shadow people, and when I was doing some research for this, I realized that shadow people are in every like area. They have one. Every nationality has one. Everybody has a story of something like this. So they've been around a really long time. Hi, Rebecca. I love your little face there that you put on there. I don't know if it's a Martian face, a masked face, but it's pretty cool. Oh, I just realized on my end it looks like a different face because you have a smiley face, and than it is on Facebook. It's gone away. Oh, I got your attention. That's great. Welcome. Hi, Dana. Um, Welcome to the live. So we're going to be talking about shadow people. So yes, it is a spooky subject. It's spooky and not spooky, but I've had a couple of people that have asked me about them. I've encountered them myself. So I decided that I was going to do it on them. So let me just get my notes here so that I remember. Okay. It's Shadow people are one of the misunderstood topics in the paranormal world, as well as one of the creepiest. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive today. Hi, Laura. Okay, there's isn't a no one size fits all explanation for them. Some say that they're spirits, others say that they're hallucinations. Paranormal researchers and folklorists, or even neuroscientists, all have their theories. And tonight we're going to go through some of them. I'm going to explain to you what shadow people scientifically, whether they explanation, but it really doesn't explain them because we don't know enough about them, really. I'm about to choke. So scientifically, many link shadow people to sleep paralysis. It's one of the things that people talk about all the time. They have a frozen feeling where you're awake but you can't move. The pressure is on your chest, the presence is in the room, and then the shadow is there. But that doesn't explain all of the sightings that some people happen to have when they're wide awake as well. So I have had clients that swear that they've seen these figures in broad daylight, at work, in mirrors, while driving. So this is all out. So is this all over their heads, or is there something more to this? So what did they look like? Generally, speaking, most shadow people appear as a tall, I have actually a photo here. I'm going to share it with you. They generally appear as a tall, dark silhouette, faceless features. They've got faceless, they're featureless. Sometimes they wear a hat. Let me just share this here with you guys. This is how they usually appear. Sometimes they wear a hat. Most of the time they wear a hat, and you hear people talk about hat people or a hat person. That's what usually it looks like. So sometimes they move like smoke. Occasionally they have glowing red eyes. Hi, Natalie. Now they're not like regular ghosts. No mist or orbs, and no floating sheets. Just darkness and a human form. They often lurk alone, but never quite interacting until they do. So that's one of the ones. I have another one here that sometimes people, and I'm going to share that with you as well, because sometimes people see this as well. They talk about this many times. They'll see this with the red eyes. Um, there is I've seen other ones where they also think that, I don't know if anybody have ever heard of the Mothman. They may think that they're shadow people as well. There's a form of it. They're all different form. Why a hat? I don't know why a hat. But most people will say they wear a hat. They see them at different times. So we're going to go through some of the theories and some of the folklore around shadow people. But I know that when you tend to see a hat, when I was reading it and doing some research myself, I'll show you another picture of it as well. They also said that this is one where they're in they say that um, a lot of times they have this hat. It's very significant, and it's almost like they show up before someone's going to die. So they have that hat thing going. I don't know why they have, and the hat's always like the same type of hat. So they have that there. I don't know what the theory is behind that, but it often happens. So we're going to go through some of the folklore of it. So here are where things get a little deep. Shadow people show up in stories around the world. Everyone has a version of their shadow people, and they're called something else. In ancient cultures, they were omens of disaster. In paranormal studies, they're seen as interdimensional beings. In cryptic research, they might be aliens or unknown humanoids. So in um, some of the research I was looking about in Middle Eastern lore, they call it I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but it starts with jinn, Djinn, and it's an Islamic mythology. It's pronounced jinn. Are powerful beings made of smokeless fire, neither neither angel nor human. Some are kind, some are chaotic, but among them are darker forms, shapeshifters, being of shadow. Many believe some shadow people are jinn in hiding, observing from another realm. They tend to dwell in abandoned places, wells, ruins, and even bathrooms. Ever felt watched in a mirror? Have you ever felt watched in a mirror lit room? You might have brushed shoulders with an unseen. The jinn don't need your invitation; they're already there. So that's one of the folklores from the Middle East. And then they got the night hag. That comes from the European and Scandinavian myth. And throughout old European folklore, people spoke of the night hag, a shadowy crone that would sit on your chest at night and steal your breath. In Norway and Iceland, they call it mare, the origin of the word nightmare. It wasn't always seen, but her presence was undeniable, heavy, paralyzing, suffocating. They would say if you feel frozen in your bed and you can't breathe, it's the hag. Come for your spirit. Doesn't it sound exactly like something today's account of sleep paralysis and shadowy figures? Now, this is the Hat Man, which is a global phenomenal. There's a specific shadow person people see all around the world. Tall. This is the one I'm normally been um, more associated with. Tall, broad shoulders, a long coat, a wide brim hat. He's been spotted in the US, the UK, the Philippines, Australia, even remote parts of Africa. Who is he? Some say he's a spirit's overseer. Others think he's a traveler passing between dimensions. But one thing is consistent: people report a bone deep fear when he's around. So there's a quote here from a woman said she didn't see his face, but she knew he was smiling. Um, with the hat man or the shadow person with the hat, the one thing that I've always read about them is he usually comes, they usually also call him the angel of death, because for some reason whenever someone's close to dying, that's when he kind of tends to show up. He'll show up like 3 or 4 days. People will tend to see them, specifically the person who's ready to pass over. If they're stable, able to talk, they're the ones that family members will say that they've all of a sudden they're talking to somebody and there's a shadow person there that's coming through. In Native American lore, they're called shadow walkers. In some indigenous traditions, they are tales of shadow walkers, beings that move between worlds. They're not always evil, but they're never casual. They may appear as omens, especially to the spiritually sensitive. In Navajo legend, there are also tales of skinwalkers, shapeshifters who can take forms to deceive. While not quite the same, both carry the eerie idea. And then there's the harbingers of death and disaster. In parts of Eastern Europe and Asia, shadowy figures were seen as omens. People would claim to see them, sudden death in a family, a crop failure, natural disaster. They don't speak, they don't move, they just appear and then they were gone. But people remember. Uh, there's a quote here from someone that says that the shadow appeared 3 nights before their brother passed. One man wrote in a journal in 1912, "It was not human and it brought silence." And that's when I've always heard about it. And it's this one's from 1912, but I've heard it even recently, like not that long ago, a couple of years ago. There was a story where a woman, her mother loved to watch she loved to watch game shows, and she was watching a game show, but and her mother was in a facility, old age facility, and she wasn't doing well, and she would just watch these shows. And she said that she had stepped out and went to the bathroom and heard her mother talking to somebody, and she could hear her mother saying, "I'm not ready for you yet. I'm not ready." And then she peeked in, and there was no one in the room, just a TV on. And her mother, and she had thought that there had been a nurse that came in or whatever, and she was just saying she wasn't ready for the nurse. So she uh she didn't ask her mom or anything about it. But then probably, I think it was like an hour later or so, she said she stepped out into the hallway, and her mother wasn't doing well, but she stepped out into the hallway and she heard her mother speaking again, and then walked back into the room. And she asked her mom, like, "Who are you talking to?" Because at this point she's in the doorway, no one's come in and out. And her mother said, "The man over there with the wide brim hat, the black hat." And her daughter was looking around, she's like, "There's nobody here." And he was in the corner. She said he was in the corner, and she was pointing at the corner, and she says, "I'm telling him to go away. I'm not ready for him. I'm not ready to go yet." And that's what she kept saying. So the daughter said she could feel, what the daughter had said was she could feel a presence there, like an energy there, but she couldn't see it herself. But her mother could, because her mother kept looking into that corner. So she said she went and she sat down, and she said quietly to herself and said, "Please, my mom, I'm not ready to leave my mom yet. I'm not ready for my mother to leave me yet. Can you give us more time?" And she said she almost like she felt like something kind of saying yes, because all of a sudden the energy that was there, she said she felt it leave. Like she says there's no way of me explaining it unless you've lived it. And she goes, and then all of a sudden her mother, who actually had dementia and things like that, went back to watching TV. like stopped staring in the corner and went back to watching TV. And her mother didn't say another word. And she said for some reason she had a feeling that her mother would be okay for 3 more months. And literally 3 months later, it came for her mother again, and this time her mother passed. So that's one of the stories, and that was probably happened like 2 3 years ago. So people still have it even to this day. Um, Another story, folklore one, is called the Watchers. The modern theory, modern theorists. I can't say that word, especially those in the UFO metaphysical circles, have dubbed them the Watchers. They are aliens in cloak form, time travelers peeking through from another timeline, beings from a parallel dimension whose frequency just slips sometimes. The most mind-bending theory is they're us, our future selves projecting back to observe. Only we can't comprehend what we're seeing. Our brain renders it as a shadow. So, in the end, we don't know what they are. As you can see, I've given you at least 5 or 6 different things. The only thing that's consistent is that they're like a shadow form. People don't know what they are. Like there is no. Everybody has their own theory of it. The one I hear consistently is the fact that they're always around. A lot of with death. And I'm going to give you a couple of different things. It's like, why do they appear? So why do they come? Why do shadow people appear? That's the question that I've been asked more times than I can count. And the answer isn't simple. Sometimes they're energies, sometimes they're entities, sometimes there's something else entirely. This is something that we don't know what they are because they have never ever really told us what they are. There's different theories. Who, depending on who you ask, everyone has their own theory on what a shadow person is. The only thing that I do know is that the entities are drawn to emotional intensity. Some say that they feed off of fear. Others believe that they're just echoes, imprints of a moment, or a being caught between two worlds. So I have seen, I've been told, I have seen, and I've heard different stories. Usually they come around when people are in fear or there's a lot of chaos in the person's life. The one story that I'm going to be able to, there's a couple different stories here that I'm going to tell you, but there's one that I seen where there's a guy who had originally had been doing drugs for many, many years. And he said that when he was doing drugs, he was really involved in his addiction, that he used to see this shadow person, the guy with the hat, tall, skinny. He described him to a T, and it used to follow him wherever he went. It followed him, and he would get sleep paralysis at night with it. And he said it never spoke to him, but he knew it would be there. He just would feel the presence. It was like a darkness that would just overtake. And he said in the room, even though the room would be dark, it was darker than the dark. So it was frightening, and he would feel its energy. It would impose on it. Um, and then he got clean. He decided to get clean from drugs. I believe it was a cocaine habit that he had. So he got clean from it. And he got clean, he got a job, he got married, he had children. So years later, I don't know, things must have been going on with his life or whatever it was. And he decided to get back into drugs. And he started seeing this shadow guy again everywhere he was. But this time he's like married. So he's telling his wife, there's a shadow guy here. And he starts describing the shadow guy and he's getting scared. And the shadow guy would appear at night, and it would kind of start as he started doing more drugs. It started following him more and more. Now, his wife didn't know that he was back into doing drugs. She suspected something was going on, but she didn't know. So she had called these people. She had called this these investigators and the psychic medium to come and help out because she thought her house was haunted, and she would hear things and she would feel things. But and yeah, that's the sun, Dana. It's not a shadow. Uh, she would feel things and hear things, but she said she never but she couldn't see anything. But the husband could, and he was not sleeping well or anything else. So during the time of their when the psychic medium, when the medium was talking about it, she said to him, she said, she then asked him about his drug habit. And he admitted at that point that he was doing the drugs. And then that's when she said, "You have seen this before." And he admitted he had. And she says, "Well, this will tend to follow people who who are addicts, people who are addicted, because people are in that it's like a soul. I shouldn't say soul collector, but it's like it's waiting for the person to die, so it follows that person. Because they have addiction and it feeds off of their addiction as well. It keeps them in that addiction. And he couldn't explain why he went back into the addiction, but he did say that he was tempted for a really long time. It took him a while, but yeah, that's one of the examples I've seen. I mean, it might be an extreme one, but there's different ones. There's another one, and they come in different forms, so you really never really. That's why have a hard time figuring out what this is, because it comes in different forms. It doesn't always come with the hat. I'm sure he takes it off every once in a while. I don't know. But this one's called The Man in the Hallway, and it's from Virginia. And this woman would wake up every day at 3:33 a.m. Um, every single night. And she said she would see him, a tall, shadowy figure at the end of her at the end of her hallway, motionless, watching, wearing what looked like a wide brim hat. She never heard him walk. He was just there. Turns out the house had belonged to an older man who passed away in his sleep. No unfinished business, no drama, just gone. But every night at the witching hour, his figure appeared. She started lighting candles, saying prayers, and overnight he never came back again. So this is one example of it. The Boy and the Black Mass, and this is from Ontario, Canada. A teenage boy from a small town in Ontario told me about a black mass. It started after his parents' divorce. He was overwhelmed, angry, lost. That's when it came. Not a ghost, a shadow. It would lurk near the closet, standing still, watching him as he tried to sleep. No face, no voice, just a presence. It followed him for weeks until his aunt, to heal her, visited and placed black tourmaline under the bed. She burned some sage, prayed over the room, and from that day on, the black mass never returned. Sometimes when you crack open emotional, sometimes when you've cracked open emotionally, things will slip through. Um, this one is about a night paralysis. This gentleman here. There was a man who anonymously he messaged me. He didn't believe in anything until one night he woke up paralyzed. He could hear the clock ticking, feel the sweat on his neck, but he couldn't move, couldn't scream. That's when he saw it, a shape crouched over his chest just inches from his face. It had no features, just a swirling black form. But the eyes, he said they glowed red, like dying embers in a fire pit. 15 minutes later, it vanished. He sat up, gasping. The room was empty, but he never forgot those eyes. Is there any shadowy woman beside the night hag? Um, this is the thing. We call, like most people will say that he's male, shadowy, but he's in a shadow form. So it's not like we really know what if it's male or female. It's energy's energy. That's all you feel. You feel like a heavy presence in a room. And energetically, there is no gender. There's no female. There's no male. So a lot of times people will just associate with it being a male for some reason because it's just tall and slender and it's wearing a hat, they see. But I mean, that could be female too. Energy is energy. It doesn't really matter. It's funny that they associate a gender with them. Um, so why do they appear? People ask me this all the time. The truth is, we don't fully know. We don't know why they appear, but they tend to show up when you're vulnerable, energetically wide open, or maybe, just maybe, when you're standing too close to the thin spot in the veil. So, not all shadows are evil. Some are echoes, some are watchers, and some are just lost beings. But um, I tend to find that when you're feeling your worst, from my experience, when you're feeling your worst, when you're at your worst, when you're at the worst possible, especially if you're deep in your grief for whatever reason, and you're in your emotions and feeling bad, it's usually when they tend to show up, because fear is their food. Fear feeds them, so they're going to want to keep you in that space for as long as they possibly can. It's like food to them. There's no really anybody that really knows why they show up, why they leave, how often they come back. Really, there's no real there's no real answer to that. And as you could tell, there's many different forms that come in, and every culture has their own version of it, and every culture, like everything else, has their own way of getting rid of it. So the only way that is pretty consistent with all of them is you changing your energy, you changing how you feel, getting out of your fear and starting to change your frequency actually makes them go away. It's the one thing that's consistent across the board. Everybody tends to go to a different healer and they do different things. But in the end, it's all about getting you healed and changing your frequency. And that usually tends to get rid of them. So, yeah, I would say that they were like parasites. They feed off of you. Oh, for sure. And like a parasite, you have to cut off the food source for it to die. And that's what you do. It's difficult it's difficult for a lot of people, especially when you're feeling so bad. And if you have all these different things happening around you and to get it out of that fear, to get out of that fear, it's could be difficult, but it's doable. So um, has anybody other than myself, has anybody had any of this, seen any of these? My brother and then girlfriend, now wife, rented my dad's house. They seen a shadow figure with a top hat at the time, not sure of glowing eyes. It doesn't always have glowing eyes. Our friend slept on a couch, also seen it, left, and never set foot back in that house. There was no deaths at the time. So they were rented. So it might have been just something. Well, it's not always associated with death. Sometimes, if the person that was living in that house before had some type of drug use, or if they were alcoholic, or if they had some type of addiction, I mean, they show up for any reason. So you think you have? At one point or another, somebody we have run into something like this. The one that usually people usually tend to have the most is usually sleep paralysis. It's the one that I tend to encounter with people with a lot. They'll tend to say that they, for some reason, for no reason at all, they'll have sleep paralysis, and they can't get out of bed. They have this heaviness in their, and they're scared out of their wits and they can't move. So that's the one thing that people usually tend to have all the time. Only once this happened, I woke up and felt like someone was pressing on my shoulder so that I couldn't get up. So, were you able to get up, or did you, like, what did you do, Dana? You also had to sleep there at one point and knew of this, so I sprayed, saved the room. Uh, I was in at 3 a.m. I heard tapping on the window, so I told it that there weren't alarms. It's like, that's usually how it happens, Natalie. that shadow might have been the it might have been like previous owner or three owners before or whatever they were there for. It's hard to say. It's hard for me to say exactly what it is, but the fact that it showed up with the shadow and everything else, I mean, it's just if they're already in that space, they're in that space. So that's great that you like got rid of it. I understood what you meant. You saged and you got rid of it, which is great. And grounding yourself also helps. Rebecca, my daughter has experienced it many times with sleep paralysis. I have during times of heavy grief. Usually their way in. That's why it's like when people come to me and it's hard for me to say because I have had people too where I passed and you're grieving, but it's when you stay in the grief and when your grief turns into depression, that's when it's like I usually tend to encourage them to start doing things different. Go back to go back to doing things that you enjoyed before. No, it's difficult. The person doesn't want you to be in your grief state for very long, and if you're sliding into depression, that's usually the window for them to come in. So it's difficult. You and myself and Ricky have seen a shadow at my dad's years ago. I also have gone through sleep paralysis. It scares the crap out of me. Yeah, Sandra, your dad's house needs a cleansing. To tell you the truth, there's something there for sure. Um, I know because I've been there. He's my godfather. So it was scary, but no shadow seen. Sometimes, Danny, you don't see the shadow. It's just the present. It's just the presence of it, the energy of it. So, and I mean, I always tell people don't stay silent. Have courage to say, get out. You're not allowed here. Move on. You're not, I don't want you here. Whatever, whatever your religion is like angels help me get rid of this or God help me, whatever it is, say a prayer, say that they're not allowed in your house. Because if you stay quiet when something happens to that, it's almost like they're taking it as, okay, I can stay here. I can cause more havoc. If I sleep on my stomach, I often wake up and feel something touching my back. It's very uncomfortable, like pins and needles, and a feeling helplessness. I have just yelled at them, and it helped. The reason, Heather, the reason you're feeling it on your back, especially if you're laying on your stomach, there are different portals into our bodies. Our back is one of them, the back of our neck especially. And if you're feeling the pins and needles, it's because they're trying to get into your body. So the back of our neck, the lower back, the palms of our hands, the bottom of our feet, the top of your head. Those are different ways of getting in. They're sensitive. You pick up energies from that way. So if you're feeling it in your back, that's a lot of times that's because of that. Just well, wishing it going away. That's good because you still said for it to go away, Dana. So yeah, yelling at it to tell it to go away, that really helps. Just continue re saying that. Maybe saging your room, or saging your house, and then putting up those boundaries is the easiest. Is the best way to do it. And people tend to think that you have to sage every day. I don't, just because of the fact that it's like you're saging, you don't need to cleanse everything all of the time, especially unless you're doing metaphysical stuff like I do. Um, because you're having a lot of different energies coming into your house or you're having a lot of people over, then okay, you may need to sage more times. But for what I say to sage, I usually sage every time the season changes. So basically 4 times a year. So whenever the seasons start to change, I will then sage at that point. And that's just to reset the energy in my home, to get rid of anything, or get out the new, get out the old, bring in the new, and just reset the energy in the home. That's usually how I do it. And I remember, I make sure that I open up every door, every window, every cupboard, everything, because it's a pretty huge process. You go through the whole house, you sage it, and then you just feel it and you feel great. And with me now, it's like I usually just feel out the energy. If there's a particular room that I'm tending to avoid not going in there, it's not necessarily that it's bad energy in there. It's just it's got a lot of built up energy that I need to dissipate and I need to get rid of and reset the room. So I suggest everybody kind of do it that way. Okay, so you had Laura, you had sleep paralysis, couldn't move and couldn't call out, no shadow figure. Yes, a lot of times you don't see the shadow figure because they're actually sleeping. Their energy's on you. Sandra's, you know that moment when you are almost asleep but not? Uh-huh. I felt my bed shake like someone sitting on the bed and wake right up, but no negative energy or anything, just a weird feeling. Well, Sandra, that's actually a relative. So if it's happened recently, that's actually two people that are passed over from your in your life. So I know one for sure is your aunt, and the other one, she's not related, but she is close to you. So that's the one that's not your mom, not your aunt, my aunt, your mom, for sure. So that's why you're not going to get a negative feeling from them. They're just there to reassure you. So a lot of times when you're getting the sleep paralysis, you won't always see the shadow person. A lot of the times when have had people see the shadow person, it's usually when they're very far gone. Like they are so fearful and everything, their stuff is just going, they're so deep in depression. And usually when they see them, when they make themselves so that you can see them, it's usually you're at the wits, they're it's pretty bad. It's bad when they show themselves. A lot of times you're just going to feel their presence. You're just going to feel their energy. So I shouldn't say I have never. Um, unless you're really, really, really open, then you'll be able to see the shadow. So I have seen the shadow person myself. Um, but I wasn't far gone. It was just, I was working with stuff to get rid of stuff. So they show up to install fear. And I was a little scared there for a minute. You said black tourmaline helps. 100%. Last night I had a weird experience which coincided with my necklace containing black tourmaline falling. I just lit incense, put on the radio, and cleaned up. Okay. But yeah, getting some black tourmaline will help, especially in your room. Anything that's black, crystal wise, tends to be very protective. So just start looking for something like that. Okay, so is there any more questions regarding the shadow people? Because I'm gonna do the card reveal as well. And this is a bit of a scary, like it can be a bit of a scary subject, especially we've all come into contact with it, and sometimes we don't know what it is, and sometimes we do know what it is. The only thing is, holy moly, I'm like thirsty. The only thing that I wish I've looked and looked and looked to see if there's an answer for it of what they really are. The two theories are always that it's not a spirit, it was never human. So it's a energy that's very highly intelligent, is the one thing that I always get, and that it feeds off of fear. It comes around when you're at your lowest. So some people will say that it's a demon, and some people not. There isn't really a good solid theory where I've been able to say this is what it is, and other people think it's they're aliens. I haven't been able to find full proof of what it is it really is. So will we ever know what it is? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, it could very well be that it is all of it. All of it's true. Yes, the black tourmaline does need to be cleansed. So if you get it with some cellulite, because cellulite will absorb the negative energy, and you won't need to cleanse it as much. So I would put the two of them together. Black and white balances, so you can put the two of them together. Cellulite is very, very positive energy as well. So I would for sure get some tourmaline and some cellulite. Okay, so the cards that I put out yesterday so that you guys can pick a number of cards. If you guys have any more questions on that, just put it in the thing. But yesterday I had you guys pick up numbers. The cards that I actually put, which is WTF am I doing with my life? That's a card deck that I'm actually putting together. So I'm hoping to actually get it published and start whatever, but I wanted to start sharing it out with you guys because I really don't have the actual physical cards made for them because I'm still doing the artwork and stuff on it. But I wanted to start sharing it with you guys. So if you guys want to, the numbers that were offered, like the card numbers were 5, 11, 22, and 30. So you're welcome, Heather. So let me know in the comments what number you guys picked: 5, 11, 22, or 30. So Lori, I've seen one too 10 years ago in January right beside my bed, and I sat up and tried to hug it because I thought it was my son. Wow. Did it? I'm assuming it evaporated. That's so exciting. Oh, the cards, yeah. I'm actually working on three different decks. So this one the is a fun deck. WTF, what the fuck is going on with my life? The other one is I'm doing is a past life one, and another one is called mind, body, and spirit one. So it's going to be a couple of different ones. So and a lot of 11, 11, a lot of 11s. I'm just curious, Lori, was it just that one time 10 years ago that you saw it? Or did it come back again? Like, was it just the one time? When I get my deck done, I'll give you one, Sandra. So they're oracle cards. All right, so I'm going to go through them. So if you pick number 5, the title of your card is "You're More Psychic Than You Think." So this is the message for you. Hold on a second. You're more message than you think. I just want to be able to read it all. That moment when you just knew something before it happened, yeah, that's intuition at work. You've been underestimating your own abilities. You're connected to the universe in ways that go beyond logic. Think of all of the times you've guessed something correctly or had a feeling about someone or something that turned out true. That wasn't luck. That was your psychic self in action. It's time to embrace it. You've been psychic all along. Yeah, I would be scared too, Lori. Okay. Card 11 is stop waiting for permission. So, all the people that picked card 11, your intuition doesn't need approval from anyone else. You've been waiting for a sign, but guess what? The sign is you. You've been doubting your decisions, seeking reassurance from others, but the truth is, you already know what's best for you. Trust yourself because you have the wisdom within. The world is waiting for you to make a move. Permission granted. Now go make it happen. Okay? Everybody that picked card number 22 is that inner voice you've been downing. It's called that card's called Your Inner Voice Knows What's Up. That inner voice you've been downing, it's actually the voice of your higher self, guiding you in the right direction. You don't need to second guess it because it always has your best interest at heart. Trust that inner knowing. It's not steering you wrong. The next time you feel that nudge or hear that voice, stop questioning it. It's your personal GPS to success, happiness, and fulfillment. And card number 30. You've seen it a few times after that, never that. Wow. Sage your place, Lori. Um, Card number 30. So if you pick number 30, you're a psychic, not a mind reader. Your intuition is powerful, but it's not here to solve everyone's problems. While you can sense things, remember that you're not responsible for reading everyone's mind or fixing their lives. Focus on your own path and trust that others will figure out their own way. Your intuitive gifts are for you. Use them wisely and don't let that weight of others people's issues distract you from your own journey. So those are the cards. So hopefully they resonated with you guys. Let me know in the comments if you've resonated with them. So I'm also going to take some questions from you guys. So if you guys have some questions, so on here, not just about the shadow people, but if you guys want to, you know, go to someone that I pulled that I'm in tuned with. But I also wanted to let you guys know that the I have the Cooper's Hawk event coming up. This one's really cool. It's on May 10th. It's the day before Mother's Day. So if you need a Mother's Day gift, this is perfect. It's at 1 p.m. We're going to be doing something different. Normally I go in and I just do like a group reading, blah, blah, blah. We're going to be doing, the first time I went there, I felt like four different spirits of the land. So I was telling the people there and they're like, why don't we do a haunted ghost walk? So guess what? We're doing a haunted ghost walk. So we're going to be doing a haunted ghost walk with the wine tasting. So the ghosts, or I say spirits, but most people ghosts, they were the ones who went in and they picked the four wines that you guys are going to be tasting. So if you guys don't like them, you can blame them. But they picked the four wines. I'm going to be there's going to be Barb is going to be doing the tour with me. So we're going to be actually touring the place, and I'm going to be taking you to where the ghosts are. So there's four different ones, and I'm going to be tuning in, giving you some. She's going to be giving you information, some history about Cooper's Hawk. I'm going to be giving you history about why the ghost is there. And then in the meantime, I'm also going to be reading people throughout the afternoon. So it's going to be a fun little thing. It's completely different. So hopefully if people enjoy it, we probably will do another one at night. So, but this is really cool. So tickets are on sale now. So if you want something for Mother's Day or to do something for Mother's Day that's a little different, come out for the Ghost Walk at Cooper's Hawk on Saturday, May 10th. Also, my VIP readings that I have, the group readings, April sold out really quick. May's, which is May 30th, only has 2 tickets left because it's a small group. It's only 12 people, and that guarantees everybody gets a reading. There's only 2 tickets left for that one, and that's May 30th at 7 p.m. And then I just put in another group. I just did another one for June. I don't think I'm going to do one in July or August, but they're all done outdoors. So there's going to be one right now. I'm doing one more in June, and it's on Friday the 13th. That's just amazing. Friday the 13th at 7:30. So we're going to have like a little bit of a bonfire outside, and it's going to be great. Please tell me you get to drink wine before and after. Yes, you get to drink wine while you're there. If you're talking about the Cooper's Hawk thing, and you don't have to worry about being chicken shit because I'll be there. Honestly, it's hard to pick between, but 11 repeatedly popped up and I said 11. That's interesting. And you can drink when you come here if you want to do one in here. So, and then I obviously will have the tickets are on sale for the one in October at the Chrysler Theater. That's going to be a huge group reading. So, Friday, October the 17th. So it's like right before, a couple weeks before Halloween. So it's going to be amazing. Tickets are on sale. All this information is on my website at psychicmediumbella.com. I also have been working on the monthly meeting thing, and I've been trying to figure out what's the best for me so that I can stay healthy as well and be busy and everything. So I decided to make it not in person, but I decided to make it online. So it's going to be a Zoom thing. It's going to be once a month that we meet up. And it's pretty cool because each month has a different theme. I would be doing some teaching. So you'll be learning how to open up and tune yourself and do all the psychic things, be able to practice with other people in the room as well. So, and right now everything's on sale. So it's like $15 for the first month. And it's going to be on Monday. The very first one starts June 2nd. I think it's June 2nd at 7:30 at night. So you don't even have to leave your house. And it's great because you don't need to be in person in order to be able to read anybody. Obviously, I do it all the time. So, and it's a great practice and it's a great confidence booster. And if you don't want to participate, you can just shut your camera off and listen to me talk. I'm okay with that too. But there'll be different handouts, and every month we'll have a different theme. So, and that'd be great because then I don't have to worry about where I'm going to host it and everything else. I'm probably going to do something where it's like in the middle of it, if the people that are local, because then it doesn't limit people as well. So if you can't make it in, you can also do it online. So if the people that are local, if you want to, we can do a meetup once every 6 months or something like that, and then we can just do something. But for now, that's what I'm going to be doing, and it's called the Inner Glow. And you actually get your own private um, Facebook page where everybody can talk and you guys can share what's going on. And it's different than the Spirit Lounge, which I just renamed my other Bella's Inner Circles, now called the Spirit Lounge. This one's called the Evolving Light group, and that's just specifically for people that are coming to the monthly meetings. So it's going to be pretty cool. Now, if anybody has any questions or anything that they want to ask, put in the comments. Nobody needs to be scared, Sandra. I know there's something else that I wanted to tell you guys, but I just don't remember here. I'm pretty sure I only have one ticket left now for May. This streaming thing that I use is such a slow thing. I always have to go off of my phone, connect to the actual Facebook one because it's so slow. How do you deal with bad dreams that cause that paralysis feeling waking up? Well, first of all, you have to figure out why you're having bad dreams. A lot of times, there's your dreams are stress induced if they're bad, but a lot of times the reason you're dreaming is to work out stuff. So before I go to bed, before I go to bed every day, I usually ask my angels and my guides if they're going to give me information, to give me information in my dreams. Let me know what it is that I need in my dreams. So, but if you're having that sleep paralysis, that is something else entirely. So then you need to actually sage your room. You need to cleanse your room. You need to change the energy in that room. So that you're not having that sleep paralysis, so that you're not having bad dreams. So, yeah, that's the one thing that I recommend. And getting some black tourmaline, and putting that next to you. Well, Dana, you're very open. You're a very open person. So you're not getting it. To be honest with you, the waves of sadness is not even from yourself. It's from other things that so either you're watching things on TV or you're watching things on the internet that are giving you that sadness because you're empathic yourself. So you're actually picking up things from other people. So it's not necessarily yourself. It's not necessarily your sadness, but you're picking up stuff from other people. I'm sure you're also picking up anxiety and everything from other people as well. The easiest way to do that is to not listen, walk away, and take a nice salt bath to try to get rid of that because you're just picking up other people's energies. There's a lot of like zombie ones, just weird crap. Like zombies chasing you. I honestly think that this some of those is just really stress. You're just stressed up at different things, and so your mind's just playing havoc with you. So, do you go to bed really late? To be honest with you, you need to start a different routine. You need to start a different routine, otherwise this is going to continue on. So you need to start a different routine, and you need to start going to bed and not watching crappy stuff before you go to bed, and making sure that you stop eating an hour before you get go to bed, or 2 hours. You're going to have to start changing your routine before you go to bed in order to be able to get a good night's sleep. Hi Ange. Try some melatonin. If you're having a hard time sleeping, a lot of this is playing out in your head. It's because you're having a lot hard time sleeping. So, you're going to have to try different things to get to sleep. So maybe try listening to like some type of music, or listening to a book before you go to sleep, or taking some melatonin. I have a hard time going to sleep all of the time. Because of what I do. So I have to take melatonin before I go to bed. Some days I'm so exhausted I don't need it, but most days I do. Otherwise, I can't get a full night of sleep. And in order for me to be able to do the stuff that I do, I have to be, I have to be, I have to have rest. Otherwise, my mind, I can't connect, and it's just everything just seems like static in there because I'm too tired. So I have to put a routine in. I shut my phone off. I'm in bed. I want to be asleep by 10:30, and you're going to have to start doing that all of the time. And it's going to take at least a month for you to get onto that routine. But once you get on that routine, you can't be missing it. And then you'll start to notice a difference in that. It, there's other things that are causing the nightmares, but making the changes will help. When I ask my guides for the sign, how I receive it, it comes in different ways. Sometimes I'll hear music. Sometimes I'll see. Sometimes we all have that time where all of a sudden the TV's just in the background, and it's just white noise. It's just noise, right? They're just talking, and then all of a sudden you'll just tune into this one particular thing that they're talking, and then that's the message. Many times that's the message. Other times they'll show me repeating numbers. I get a repeating numbers a lot. Um, Sometimes if I'm in the middle of reading something and I'm just scrolling along, and all of a sudden my eye will catch something, and I'll just read it, and I'll just read this one paragraph. I'll know that's a message from them. So it comes in a variety of different ways. Um, Most of the time, just because I'm a very visual person, they tend to play like a movie scene in my head. So that's usually the way I get it. But it all depends on what you're the strongest at. A lot of people that I tend to find that are musicians, or are the lover of a connoisseur of music, they'll hear it. A lot of their stuff comes auditory. They hear everything. So they'll hear music, they'll hear voices, they'll hear stuff. So it all depends on what you're stronger at. Because I'm very visual, I see everything. There's people that smells. They smell everything everywhere. So that's things will come and they'll come to them with smells, and it will remind them of a particular person, or remind them of a memory. It will bring them a memory because they smell that. I've also had stuff where you taste. Um, I'll have a taste in my mouth with something that I'm like, oh my God, that reminds me of like this person, or reminds me of this, or reminds me when I went here or there. So you'll get it that way. So they use different thing, everything that they possibly can around you to get a message to you, as well as getting a perfect stranger to walk up to you and just say something out of nowhere. And you're like, okay, that worked. I had someone, I went to get my teeth cleaned the other day, and I don't message anybody. I never send messages to anybody saying, "Oh my, you need to book a like." I don't do that. Scammers do that. I've had quite a few scammers on there. And I was in the dentist chair, and the girl that was there said to me, um, I was trying to make a decision whether to leave the previous job for the one I had. And she says, and then I got a message from you. And she goes, I don't remember what the message was. She goes, really? She's like, but the message was saying something about how, I'm going through something, and that I should take this opportunity, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I don't know how you knew, but you sent me that message. And I looked at her and I said, I don't message anybody. I said, I didn't message you. And I said, I did say to her, I'm like, well, I had a couple of people that were scammers who had actually made three or four different profiles and used my name and my image, and were messaging my people. She goes, no, no, no. It came from your Facebook page. She goes, because I follow you. And I remember thinking, I don't message anybody. Like, if you send me a message, I will reply back, or my assistant will, but I don't give readings through emails or anything. I don't send you that. And she goes, well, you did to me. So thank you for sending that, because it helped me. She goes, I said to my husband, like, this was a sign. And I was like, okay, well, you're welcome. So clearly that must have been whoever it was, her guide or whatever, knew that she needed something, and she clearly trusted me, and they used me to send her a message. It was kind of a weird thing. So they're going to use anything they can possibly can. Yeah. Cool. I get the repeating numbers all the time. Dana, when you get the repeating numbers, go and look them up. And a lot of times you're going to see like four or five different there's at least four different different meanings for them, for some of the numbers. And I encourage you to read every single one of them, because sometimes the first one you read, it might not resonate with you, but there is a message you're going to resonate with one, and you'll find it when you get there. Because people ask me all the time, they're like, I go and I look and it didn't really make sense to me, and I'm like, no, 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 there's about three different ones. So when you look, read them all and see the one that actually makes sense to you, because you almost get the chills, or you're like, no, that one sounds right, and that's the message for you. So on Saturday, my daughter and I were making salad, and our green pepper disappeared. We didn't know where it went. I had my son over for lunch. Looks like your mom's playing a trick on you. That happens. That happens a lot. I had that too. I had been talking to my husband and saying that I needed to save money, and this was around the thing. Needed to save money, and was going to be going somewhere, and I put my debit card on the table, because I was going to go to the store to go buy something, probably something I didn't need, but I wanted to go get it. And I remember I left and I went to my bedroom. I came back and my debit card was gone. I couldn't find it. I looked for at least 20 minutes for the debit card, and finally I said, "Listen, you need to bring me back my debit card. Like, I need to go get this," and whatever it was. And they and then all of a sudden I turned around and my debit card was back on the table. So I know who it was, and they were just playing a little funny on me, because I had said I wanted to save money and for me not to spend money, but I was like, that's my money, I'm going to spend it. So they'll play little tricks like that. So that's funny. Yeah, that's funny. She wanted to cook with you guys. Did you end up finding the green pepper after, or no, it was just completely gone? Okay. Usually ends up turning up somewhere that you didn't think. So, it just disappeared for a minute. Yeah, it happens. All right. So, does anyone else have any more questions, or does anybody want me to give them a reading? I'll do a couple of them. I have a feeling it was your uncle. I can see him doing it. Yeah, it was. They're funny people. So they like to have a laugh at your at our expense because it just makes them laugh. It's funny. Um, and it never fails whenever I'm in the middle of doing something, all of a sudden something will come up and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes, guys, come on. Okay, Lee, what is it that you want to what do you want to know? What question? You can ask me a question. Like, what is it that you want to know? And then I'll go with Jessica next. Mm-hmm. That's how it happens. Not really. Are you on the right track? First thing I heard was it's funny, it's a yes and a no. Your business sense, you're on the right track as far as what you're needing to do, but you do need to for some reason they're coming up with marketing on the business. You need to tweak the marketing. So I don't know if you use somebody to market or if you're using or if you're like doing the marketing yourself, but for some reason you're going to need to tweak the marketing so that it actually gets to who it needs to get to. So that's why they're like, yes and no. You're on the right track doing the marketing, doing it, but the marketing end needs to be fine tuned. So I hope that makes sense to you, Lee. So, so Jessica, what is your question? Just gonna put a list here and I'll call you guys out. Okay, Lee. You're welcome. It's just a little bit of a tweak, and you're doing fine. Don't don't get in your head about it. Keep it simple. You're wondering how to grow or tune in more to my spiritual gifts. Well, that's easy, my dear. Sign up for my monthly. um, your gifts grow. You're welcome, Lee. Your gifts grow as you get more confident. And how you get more confident is doing it more often. So you're gonna have to finally get out of that psychic closet and pronounce yourself psychic because you are. And you can do meditations until you're blue in the face, but that's not going to fine tune your gifts. So you can start off small. I would suggest you going into a group that you can actually read people and start reading people and start reading very easily. A lot of times, the easiest way to do it is to hold hands with somebody because it's the easiest way to do energy exchange with somebody. If you're just starting out, if you're really not confident with it. Or you can hold objects because objects have energy. So you can have someone hand you your glasses, hand them the glasses and not say anything about it, and then you tune into those and see what you get, psychic hits, and not questioning anything because nothing is going to make sense to you because it's not about you, it's about the person in front of you. So that's how you're going to be able to do it. So I know people are like, you got to meditate, you got to do this. No, that's not how you're doing it. It's practicing. It's practicing. So going out and practicing with somebody and getting out of your comfort zone. That's how you're going to have to do it. To do it and actually start practicing with people outside of your own circle. You're going to have to start practicing with people that you don't know anything about. And if you only get two or three things about it, that's amazing that you even got that. So that's how you're going to have to start doing it. But that's pretty much how you're going to have to start. So I hope that helps. Um, okay. So the next person is Ange. Do you have a question, Ange? I got you on the list, Sandra. Are you still on, Ange? You're welcome, Lee. I'll put you on, Craig. Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a time and a place to meditate, and that's great. That's a lot to connect with your guides and everything else. But when you're wanting to develop your gifts, it, meditating is not always like just meditating is not only the thing. I keep getting the feeling someone is doing bad to me. Stop thinking about that. You're actually putting that out into the universe, and you're the one who's actually doing bad to yourself. Nobody is doing bad to you. To be honest with you, nobody can do bad to you, Ange, without your permission. So if you keep thinking that someone's doing bad to you, you're putting that out there and you're giving it permission. So nobody's doing bad to you. Nobody's doing bad. Okay? So Rebecca, you're next. What's your question, Rebecca? I'll get to you in a minute, Dana. I just got you on my. Hi, Amy. You're welcome. Rebecca, you still here? You want to know your career path? You want to know if you're on the right career path or you're changing your career? It's all right. It's kind of weird. They keep wanting, they're talking about, I don't know why, but they're talking about you changing, but it's almost like they're wanting you to start your own business. So I don't know. Do you have your own business right now? It's kind of a weird thing. I don't know what you do for a living, but it's just kind of they keep encouraging you to go out on your own for your career path. Just because whatever you're doing right now is not making you happy, or they don't see it being a long-term happy thing for you. For some reason, it keeps showing me like you doing something, but it's like more like office thing, but doing it as your own business. So I don't know what it is that you do, but doing it, working for yourself, going your own way. So I don't know if it's whatever you're doing right now, if you're able to go out and do it, start your own business doing that. That's kind of like what they keep showing me. with you. It's a better path for you. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, you're welcome. All right. So the person that's next is Heather. So Heather, do you have a question? Heather, then Craig, then Sandra, or I mean, then Dana. I don't know if Heather's still watching. Okay. Craig, if you're still on, what is your question? Yes, you are. I'll put you on the list just because I have a list of people that I'm going to be calling on. So, Craig, if you're still here, I'll put you on the list, Amy. I have made some bad decisions in the past, and I'm still dealing with it, which was caused my family to disown me. Do you see them in time coming around and recognizing me, or have I just burnt my family connections? Craig, you haven't burned your family connections. A lot of times they just distance themselves because they don't want to be hurt. They distance themselves because they don't want to be hurt by some of the things that you've done. So the only thing that you can really do is show them that you have changed, show them that you're not that person that was before. And it's almost like they're going to start coming back. It's going to be a slow thing. Um, but I do see them starting to come. It's almost like once you get one, then that one will bring on the other one, and then the other one, and the other one. So I don't know if you've started tentatively reaching out to a couple of them, but maybe start reaching out to one and seeing how that goes and making amends. Telling them, guess what? I was stupid. I'm human. I made mistakes. I'm sorry. I'm not that person anymore. Um, and I want you to be a part of my life, but you have to be prepared for them to say that they're not ready either, because they're going to be able to come on when they're ready. But I think a couple of them are. They Let's just put it this way: they miss you as much as you miss them. So I do see some of them coming back. Family's tricky, but they're always willing to forgive. A couple of them are hard headed, but they're always going to be willing to forgive. Some may not always forget, but there is an olive branch that they're showing me. So just stay positive and show them the change that you've made, and that you're a completely different person. That'll make a huge difference. Okay. Yeah, it's going to take time for sure. Just don't cut off all the communication on your end. It's almost like, I don't know. They keep showing me a female, you reaching out to this one female. So I don't know who this female is, but for some reasons that she seems to be the key in. And I don't know how the female fits into the family, but they keep showing me like reaching out to the female, and that female will be able to break down the other ones, or will be able to give you, allow them to come in and stuff. So just give it a little more time, but don't give up trying. Okay. You're welcome, Craig. All right, Dana, you would ask a question on here. So let me go back and see if I can find your question or if you're still on. Oh, here it is. Um, Last night I dreamt about someone which seemed like the entire night. Should I go forward with contacting them or just let it be? I'm hearing contact them, but don't tell them about the dream. There's a reason why you had a dream. So is try and remember certain parts of the dream, but I'm hearing contact them. Contact them and then just let them. It might just take them a minute to really respond back, but go ahead and contact them is what I'm hearing. So I hope that helps. You're welcome, Craig. Okay, Sandra. Sandra's next. Hi, Kaiser. Uh, Sandra, you had a question here. I'm hoping you're still. Is Emily trying to tell you something? Just that she misses you. She loves you. Does Emily have a daughter? Sandra, are you still because she's talking about her daughter too. So wasn't spicy, just together. It was so wonderful. Yeah. Well, I didn't get that it was spicy either, Dana. I'm just saying, they're saying to contact them. So she has two daughters. For some reason, she's talking, Emily, for some reason, she keeps showing me her daughter. So I'm getting it might be the oldest one. So I don't know. And she's associating it with the Mother's Day thing. So I don't know if it's like, if they're struggling, they are struggling because they lost their mother. But now with Mother Day's coming up, it's almost like she's asking you to kind of reach out to them. Um, just kind of reach out to them because it's still very difficult times when things are coming up, and now that Mother's Day is coming up, I think they're going to be struggling a little. So it's almost like she wants you to reach out to them and just say that she's watching them and she's there and she loves them. I don't know what the significance of roses is, or even pink roses. Do you know what the significance for that is? Because I just saw that with her. So okay. um If she doesn't, it's almost like if she doesn't know, just tell her to get a couple of pink roses and just have it in the house. It's kind of like her way. Does her daughter also have a daughter? Because she's like talking about like I don't know if it's like a daughter or a granddaughter. Like does her daughter also have a granddaughter? I mean, does her daughter also have a daughter? Neither one of the daughter, because it's maybe it's just the two daughters. For some reason, I keep seeing two pink roses, so that just might be representing the two daughters. But she's not really. There isn't anything. She's not really giving me like anything that's like significant. Um, it's not. I shouldn't say significant. I mean, she's giving them love. Oh, okay. That's why I keep saying the two. Okay, so they live together. All right. Well, have them get some pink roses. It's almost like that's from their mother. Or maybe you can get them a couple pink roses and say that's from their mom. Because she keeps showing me two pink roses. It's like and giving, and it's just kind of weird. I just saw the two girls, so I wasn't sure if it was like they actually had a granddaughter or what it was. But I think that's pretty much what she wants. And that's what she's giving me. Okay. Yeah. I mean, love. All right. So the next person I have is Amy. If you're still on, Amy, if you want to ask me a question. Your son definitely comes to visit you, especially when you're thinking of him. That's usually when you're thinking of him the most. That's when he's there. Hopefully he does. I think he probably will. Um, so Amy, have you had like flickering of the lights, or like your TV sometimes like a little bit of a glitch or something in it, because it keeps showing like electronics. So with him. So have you had that happen at all, Amy? Because that's the one thing he keeps showing me that he does. And if you haven't, that is what he's going to start doing. Because he keeps showing me like the light flickering, or the TV will be like maybe shut off on its own or something. It's one of the things that it's easiest to manipulate. He also says that he does come in your dreams. Start noticing it, because it's one of the things that he's going to start communicating. So, and if you've been finding dimes or anything or coins lately, he says it's also a shine from him. So, it might just be something that you've been paying attention to now. So now these are the things that he wants you to pay attention to. So he's showing me like coins, like especially dimes, and he's also showing me flickering of the lights. So if you see something flicker, and even if it's just a little bit, that's him. But he's with you all the time. He doesn't like to see you cry. Yeah, that's him. So he keeps talking about he doesn't like to see you cry, so he keeps sending you different things to show you that he's there, that he's with you. I know. So he keeps throwing you dimes for you to stop. It's difficult, and he understands. Um, I'm really sorry for your loss, but he is with you every day, and he's sending you lots of love. That's all I get from him. So he's just like, dry your eyes, mama, I'm right here. So I'm going to send you lots of love, Amy, and just start looking out for all those little signs that he's going to send at you, and they're just signs of love that he's with you. So Laura, yeah, I do have another time for a question. So Laura, if you have a question to ask, go ahead. Been having vivid dreams of your brother. What he's trying to tell you? Have you asked him? What's he trying to tell you? Because if you're having dreams, he's telling you in the dreams. I think mainly he's trying to tell you he's okay, that he's all right. Because that's pretty much what I just heard. It's almost like the dreams, it's his way of spending time with you. Did you guys not see each other before he passed? No, I know it's never the same. Did you not see each other before he passed? Because it's because he's make you so you didn't see him the day of, because that's what he's kind of like. Okay, that's what he's alluding to, because he's talking about not seeing it's. I don't know if he's coming to you because you have guilt because you weren't there at the hospital when he passed, because he keeps talking about, like, it's almost like he's trying to comfort you, like it's okay that you weren't there, it's okay. And he just keeps talking about coming to your dreams and spending time with you, because you didn't have that time together. So that's pretty much why he's coming to you. It's nothing anything negative. It's just he's there spending some time with you and just comforting you. Um, because that's pretty much what he keeps talking about. It's just like you weren't there when he passed. So that's why he's coming. He's just trying to tell you he's doing okay, and for you, you don't need. There's nothing that you need to feel guilty about. Um, and it's just his way of spending time with you. I know it's not the same, but to him, it feels the same because energetically, he's able to connect with you on a level that you can't. Okay. So, all right. You're very welcome. All right, guys. I'm going to log off now because I'm exhausted. Thank you, everybody, for staying. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I hope to go live again next week on Wednesday. And I'll see you guys at my events. Check them out. I also have the Spirit Circle that's going to be once a month. So if you guys wanted to learn how to tune in and do the stuff that I do, the doors are open. So all the information is on my website at psychicmediumbella.com. Have a great night, guys. Bye.